Brilliant. That was just at the start of the video. That everyone just got that. That is delightful. What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. This is your match preview. It's Manchester United against Everton at Old Trafford. John, before we actually talk about that, quick point on the pricing, because it's come out and the stadium plans and the whole virtual view stuff, which I really like, by the way. What do you think about the pricing? You all right with it?
Yeah, I thought it would have been more. I think they've been quite fair, to be honest with you. They've probably taken into account. I mean, they could have done more expensive tickets, because at the end of the day, you know, it's not great football to watch at the minute, and it's not going to change overnight, as we've said many times on here. But when you've got a waiting list, Michael, the club can could have held us as supporters to ransom in a way.
Yeah.
You know, they could have charged a lot more and hiked it up a lot more than what they have, obviously, because that waiting list there. I think they've been quite fair. You know, I think the cheapest ones for the likes of our age, like 600 quid. And as we've just been speaking before we come on video, there's not going to be any obstructed views. Now, I think it's 720 quid a year I pay now. So I could actually get a cheaper ticket in Bramley Moor than what I'm paying now without an obstructed view. Don't get me wrong, I've got a great seat in the paddock at Goodison at the minute.
But that's no problem. I mean, you can't get a better seat.
Well, sometimes it can be a bit low, and sometimes I can be a bit too loud, and I'll have certain players having a pop at me. But, you know, when you look at it, I could probably sit in Bramley Moor for cheaper. Yeah, it wouldn't be as good a seat, but the view's not going to be much different because we've got nothing in front of us. So, yeah, I'm happy. I think they've been fair. As I say, they could have charged more. So whoever's made the decision on the ticket prices, I think they've done a really good job.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think OAPs have been stung a bit, and I think the under 11s have been stung a bit as well. But I don't agree with it. But it's kind of how football is these days. You know, I think Wolves removed concession tickets for plus 65s as well. So it's a big thing in football. I don't agree with it, but it is there. So it is what it is.
I mean, maybe, you know, obviously under 11s, they're not going to really be going on their own. They're going to be going with the dad, but they've obviously put theirs up a bit, sort of counteracts keeping the adult ones probably not of as much of a hike. So it probably balances out that the prices have gone up noticeably. But when you look at it in hindsight, as we've just said, I can get a cheaper ticket. If Frankie was sitting next to me, his is going to be a bit dearer. So it sort of balances it out.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the game then. Man United, they're not playing great. Obviously, the new manager's come in. They were 2-1 down midweek against what are they called? Budo. I don't know who they played. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, are you excited? Nervous? What you think? I'll tell you how I'm feeling, right? Because I know this is going to be a bit surprising. But I actually feel like Everton could have a go at these. Like, I actually feel like Everton could go there and have a go at them, because I think they look quite lacklustre. I think they play the ball around with very little purpose. I don't think they look great in transition. Now, Everton are a poor team. We know we're awful. But we've seemed to actually have been a bit more difficult to play against away from home. So I'm not sitting here thinking Everton are going to go there and win, but I'm not thinking a point is absolutely out of the realm of possibility, if you get what I mean.
I think we can all agree that Man United doing a right mess when Ruben Amorim went in. So it's not going to happen overnight. You know, he's had 2 games now. I think he drew his first league game. And I think they drew the other night as well. So is that 2 draws?
No, they won.
Oh, sorry, they won the other night. Yeah, but as you say, they were getting beat against an average team. But listen, going into a game on Sunday against these, Everton are a poor side. These are a poor side. I really don't know what to expect. I think if Everton can get at them, and we say this on here every week now, come at them from the first whistle, because it's his first home league game. You know, you want to get their fans sort of on their back, because it's happened quite easily with this Man United team over the last couple of seasons where the fans aren't happy with them. They do get on their back very early, and especially against an Everton team who Man United fans, the majority of them, the vast majority of them, will be hoping that he gets his first league game at home, he gets a win because we're a poor team. We're not playing well. But as you quite rightly point out, the last couple of seasons, we've been harder to beat away from home. You know, there's games this season, Leicester, for an example, you know, Aston Villa, when we played at Villa Park, we were 2-0 up. So we are capable of putting performances in away from home. The problem this Everton team have, they don't consistently do it for 90 minutes. We're only getting, and I've said that on here again before, we're only getting a half here and there. They're not doing it for the majority of the game because Man United, if Everton are on top, Man United will come into the game because home sides always do. Yeah. But we need to quieten them because it's going to be a party atmosphere there on Sunday. You know, his first league game at home, as I say, they are going to get behind the players. But these are an average team and they followed it on from Ten Hag. You know, you didn't know what you were getting with Man United under Ten Hag. And the 2 games that you've seen under Amarin, don't think you still know what you're going to get. And yet, granted, he's not going to change it overnight. But if Everton, for example, put a performance in like we did against Aston Villa and we did against, you know, Leicester and teams like that when we went 2-0 up against Bournemouth, was it? You know, I think it was. We're capable of putting halves in. So Everton need to come out the traps, be up for the game, and ruffle a few feathers against this Man United team. Because if you do that, this Man United team do buckle under pressure. They haven't got the mentality that we've seen in the past, what they had under Alex Ferguson. They're not a great team. They've got some great individual players, Man United, but they don't play as a team. And I think it's going to take a good few months for Amarin to knit this team together because they've got some individual players, but they don't play as a team. Everton need to take advantage of that. And listen, I'm not standing here saying Everton play as a team, but I think we will have a more settled team than what Amarin, because he still won't know his best 11.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me, John, and you might disagree with this, mate, and so might people on the channel, right? And although we've lost to Southampton away and we lost to Spurs away, and both of those performances, apart from the Spurs game, Everton have been in every away game, really. You know, we only lost to Southampton 1-0. We were 2-0 up against Aston Villa. We got a draw against West Ham, if I'm not mistaken. I'm losing the plot. We got a draw away at Leicester. We beat Ipswich. We seem to be fairly combative away from home. Now, you know, you are right. Manchester United, if they all play very well, and Everton play very well, Man United probably win. But we haven't seen that for such a long time from both sides. The best game Everton have played this season, we lost, which was Bournemouth, in my opinion. That was the best game we've played. 87 minutes, we were fantastic. I really enjoyed watching us, the football, and Jai was getting on the ball, etc. But this is also an opportunity for players like Njai to sort of put a name for himself, if you get what I mean. Like, these are the games where you want your big players, you want the players that the fans look.
Big opposition, we want to see him do it against them.
That's it. And you want him to be up for it, and I do think he will, but it's the rest of them that I worry about. It's certain players that I worry about. You know, we've mentioned them before, so I'm not going to throw them under a bus, but there's certain players that will go there and it'll just be a normal game. It'll just be Everton away from home. But this is an opportunity for Everton. This is a chance. They are, I'm not going to say they're there for the taking, but they're definitely weaker than they have been in many seasons by. I mean, what are they sitting 13th? You know, they're sitting, 3 points above us or something. There has to be an Everton performance in there that gets a point, because, you know, we've all spoken about this dreaded December. But it would be great if we could say, right, we got a point at Man United, we get 3 points at home to Wolves, and then all of a sudden, yes, we know Liverpool's tough and Arsenal's tough and everyone else is tough, Man City's tough, blah, 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 blah. But if you could go into that one with 4 points, you don't feel as bad losing those games. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think if Everton do put that Bournemouth performance in that you speak about against this Man United team, I think we could get 3 points. I do. But on the flip side, Michael, when you look at the two teams and the run of form they're in, it could be a boring draw 0-0.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I don't know what I'm looking for really. I don't know how we'll set up.
Yeah, it's good that we've got Brozier. I know Brozier played 3/4 of the game today. Chimiti played just a bit less, I think. So I think they're going to be on the bench. So there's options on the bench there, to throw them on and try and get us a goal. Give them a little half hour, because I don't expect us to see much from Calvert-Lewin. I don't expect them to throw Chimiti or Brozier, especially Brozier. I don't expect them to throw him straight in against Man United. I do still think he sticks with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but I don't expect us to get a performance out of him. So there's options there for Brozier to come on.
Sorry, John. Would you start better in this game? If you were the gaffer, would you start better?
Mate, I would have started better games ago.
Yeah.
To be fair, listen, we've said it on here. He's like Bambi on ice. I think his feet tell his brain what they're going to do before his brain tells his feet what to do. That's what you get with Beto, but you get commitment, and he'll chase their defenders down. And their defenders, they have been shaky in games. Look at the game the other night in Europe against Bozo or whatever they were called. So you can get at this United team. And as you quite rightly say, if Ndiaye's on his game, and if he does play Beto, to get in behind them can cause problems. But
would you go 2 up front?
No, not against Man U. No, I wouldn't. No.
Fair enough.
No.
Decore, do you start him or do you start Mangala?
Mangala, all day. I know it's a big game to throw him in, Michael, but at the end of the day, we're watching performances from Decore, and it doesn't warrant him starting week in, week out. So you have got to go with someone else, whether it be against Man U, whether it be against Liverpool, whether it be against Wolves. Put him in. He's going to have a point to prove. He must be sitting on that bench watching Decore. I think, fuck me, he's shite him. I should be getting in this team before him.
Well, every time Mangala plays, and he has started games, but every time he plays, I think he looks a player. I think he looks a good player. So, him and Garner, I think, could be really useful in this game. That ball winning midfield, give the ball out wide to Ndiaye, or the other side's just pants. You pass the ball to Ashley Young or Jack Harrison or Lindstrom. You might as well pass it out to you.
It's got to be Harrison for me, and I never thought I'd say that, but I can tell you now, Lindstrom's not going to make it at Everton, at this ball club. He's not. It's pretty obvious, and I know he hasn't had much game time, but he's not impressing me whatsoever. I would have no problem putting Jack Harrison in, and again, I'd rather not have him there. But if I had to pick one of the two, it'd be Harrison.
Score prediction?
1-1.
Yeah, do you know what? I think 1-1 as well.
1-1.
And I'm going to go with Everton score first as well. From a corner. Ball comes over the top. Tarkowski nods it back. And you're just going to see a little Mikalenko with a little cheeky little half-volley.
I'd take a goal from anyone, Michael. Do you know what I mean? And I'd sitting here now, I'd take a point. I'd take a point away at Old Trafford. And as you quite rightly point out, gives them a bit of confidence. I think there was a stat the other day. Have we only lost 1 in 8?
Yeah.
But we've had shitloads of draws, and this is another thing that Sean Dyche is living off. We've only lost 1 in 8, but we're drawing. And when you bear in mind, them draws are against the West Ham team, who were poor. The only defeat was against Southampton away. Do you know what I mean? So this is
0-0 against 10-man Brentford, mate.
Yeah, and there you go. So he can come out and try and get as much credit as he wants with only losing 1 in 8. But in reality and in hindsight, look at the teams who we've drawn against and the circumstances where we've only managed to get a point. Because when Brentford went down to 10 men, they were the better team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I go 1-1. If Everton can get a draw there at the most, listen, I'd love us to get 3 points. And then, obviously, if we can beat Wolves at home, which again, that's not easy. That's a tough ask. They've won 2 out of 2 now, Wolves. So we need to pick points up out these next 2 games in some way, shape, or form before this horrendous run starts after Wolves.
Cool. Right, guys, I'm sorry this video has gone out late. We went to the German market. There's a German market in Birmingham. It's quite a big one, and I said that I'd take Harriet and Finlay to the German market. So we did. We had a little family night. So yeah, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. The support has been astonishing. We are going to have a new channel sponsor for December. So we're just waiting on a couple of bits from them, which you'll be able to buy t-shirts, hoodies, and other clothing. Not just for Everton, for other sites, but there will be Everton stuff on there. So make sure you go and check it out. And there will be an exclusive product for Blue Boys Network on there as well. So make sure you go and have a look at that. But in the meantime, have a lovely weekend. Me and John are going to be living it up in Blackpool. It's going to be great.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait. The match reaction on Sunday might be from 2 very, very tired people.
Mate, that it's a killer for me, mate.
Oh, not the time you've got to get up and drive home.
6 o'clock in the morning type job. Oh.
Well, earlier it was 7 the other day.
Yeah, it depends on it. Well, cool. Well, I'll leave you to it. Keep smiling, everyone. Hit the subscribe button and put in the comments. Hope John, I don't know, gets tied to a lamppost with a cone on his head or something. I don't know. I don't care what you say, but yeah, it's we're going out to celebrate his big 6-0. So
look well for 60. I look well for 50.
Yeah.
I don't know how being mate with you for 8 years.
Well, sound. See you soon, guys. Peace.